thank you guys for, watching my last video, liking, disliking. To be honest, that first dislike kind of like, I don't know, it felt real, like someone really disliked my video, like wow. But yeah, like it was cool. Yeah, so thank you, stay tuned. I definitely want to keep this up, so thank you guys again. Thank you. Basically, I want to talk about something, right? So I feel like as a spiritual person that I am, and like I've been for a while, I feel like it's easy to preach about all these spiritual tactics that I have discovered and use, like the law of attraction, letting go of desire, understanding that needing nothing attracts everything, right, type of mindset. And it has worked for me, but I feel like it's very hard for me to, I feel like this year 2020 I really discovered, not that I discovered this, I kind of pieced it together, because I realized this spiritual mindset can only work so much, because spirituality is a privilege, and I 100% stand by that. I feel like I saw some posts specifically, let's say today, it was a quote, I don't know if it's true, it's accurate or not, but Jim Carrey said, your job doesn't suck, the weather doesn't suck, your this and that doesn't suck, your mindset sucks, right? Your mindset thinking it sucks is what sucks, you know what I'm saying? But when I saw that, I was just like, I don't know if that's 100% true, because it's again, to have the privilege of the positive aspect, and seeing the glass half full, is that really possible for everyone? Think about it, right? And I've talked about this before. If you follow either my private page or my public spiritual advice type page, Views from the Third, I talked about how we have to take into consideration that ignorance is not always a choice. The reality of this world is that there are real disparities within the universe, within the world, not the universe, but within this life that we live. There are real disparities that tie into that ignorance. You can be ignorant to your ignorance, you know what I'm saying? You to acknowledge that you're ignorant to something is a privilege, because if not, that's just your reality. When you don't know anything but that, then are you ignorant? You're ignorant to me because I know better, because I think I know more than you. But then that's your truth, you know what I'm saying? It's sociology, it's psychology, it's literally you can tell someone so much and it will literally just bounce back. And that does not 100% have to be just dumb, not taking it in, disregard, it's not always that. Cognitive dissonance is a thing. So what that means is it's this response that your brain has when it feels attacked, right? So let's say when it's challenged, specifically, if you tell someone hey, everything you've believed is a lie, straight up that, automatically the brain shuts down, just because the brain feels attacked. You can literally show them proof, you can it can be rational evidence, whatever, their brain will not accept it, their brain will not take it in. And it's that plays a part, you know what I'm saying? It's so much deeper. You can't tell someone hey, your mindset sucks, if they've been in circumstances that have had no other space for any other ideologies. That's all they know. All they know is that shitty job, all they know is that shitty reality, that shitty whatever. Okay, back to the fucking what we're talking about. Yeah, so can someone that's more worried about if they're gonna have food on the table tonight, someone that's figuring out how to make ends meet with the fucking rent, with they're not certain of their livelihood, they do not have a sustainable lifestyle, they're not guaranteed that they'll make to this month's rent, that they'll have food for tonight, all these things. Does that leave room for someone to be able to hey, manifest and fucking think even if someone has the knowledge on how these the law of attraction works and all these things, can they really act on it when they have so much going on in their real life? I feel that's what I'm talking about, that it's a privilege. when you have nothing to really worry about. And this is like literal privilege. I've just been thinking, and this is like, I have a hard time coming to terms. Oh, sorry. I've been having a hard time coming to terms with like the fact that I don't have a hard time coming to terms. Like, I'm not denying it, of course not. I just never really related the two, like privilege and spirituality, until maybe this year, because like so many times within this year, I was just like, bro, like this is the outcome of us being so spiritually like unaware and this and that. But it's like, bro, and like literally it hit me that this is deeper than fucking black on black, police brutality, society, fucking capitalism. It's so much deeper than just that. It's literally spiritual warfare, because when we are unaware of our potential, we can be easily manipulated. We become a vulnerable population. So that's why they do target BIPOC, but it's not to fucking, kill us off. I mean, that is what they use because it's more convenient, because that causes a real uprising. It's like, oh my god, people are fucking dying. And this is like, I literally had a mental breakdown, like a couple of months, coming to the reality that we are targeted, and I'm speaking as we, because I'm Mexican, person of color. Not that I'm using like black and people of color interchangeably, but like I'm speaking as in general, BIPOC, right? We are fucking like targeted, and I feel like literally just like sacrificed to push the agenda that it's like white people are killing black people, when that's not really it. That's what the fuck they want us to be distracted by, so that we further divide and we don't pick up on its actual, like the actual war that they're trying to start. Like, not even that they're trying to start, like the war that they're really inciting, which is the spiritual warfare. You know what I'm saying? They want us to be unaware of that. And it's easier to fucking say, oh, it's a black on white, it's a race issue, it's fucking this and that, because that's way more convenient than us realizing, hey, this is spiritual. And the fact that we will never unite, and like it works that they pin black and white people on each other, like we don't even wake up to the reality that this is not about black and white. It's about fucking everybody. It's about controlling the fucking population. It's not about controlling black people. It's not about white. That's how it looks, and that's how it's been portrayed. No, and it is true. Like, capitalism is real. White people are superior. They are superior in the society, just like in general. Like, we're the minorities, whatever. This is real. But that's not it. Like, it's so much deeper. And like, it's so much deeper, and like the rabbit hole is so deep. And like, waking up to the real fucking issue that we're facing as a fucking people, everyone, white, black, Asian, fucking everything, all of us are at play. It's not. And this is why, like, I literally realized, like, white people that are voluntarily racist, like the ones that just literally like think they're superior to black, like I feel like they're the fucking, like, bro, like they don't even realize that you are doing exactly what they want you to do. Yeah, that's your play, that's your part to play in this fucking huge ass control mission operation shit. Like, you're doing is, yeah, do that part, be superior, enjoy it, but in reality you're just as much of a puppet as we all are. Like, you're playing your part, we're playing our part as minorities. We're all like doing our thing, and we don't wake up to the reality that like everything is fucking pre-designed. Like, this shit is like so sick, and it's so strategical, and the way that it works and it's being executed is like so crazy to me, because it's like it works, and it's like, fuck, like how do you explain this to people? Like, okay, of course, none of this is fucking 100% concrete or none of that. This is obviously just me thinking. I don't even know if this is a conspiracy. Do people think this as well? Like, let me know if you fucking ever had a manic episode where it's led you to this thought. Because it's very interesting. And this thought only became a thought to myself this year. And it was because I was like, I've been conscious of this fucking broken system, but I just felt like it had to be more than just like what it looks like, like I just question everything. Like, the fact that it's fucking like on the TVs and on everywhere, that this whole like racial tension, black, white, oh, this white supremacy, Black Lives Matter, like all this, I'm like, if this was the case, like, wouldn't it be covered up way better? You don't hear about the spiritual warfare, right? And I feel like that's because that could potentially be the fucking truth. Like, that is what is really going on. This is what is at play. And it's so much easier to fucking mask it with all these other, you know, things that are real. I'm not denying it. And it kills me to realize that people are fucking dying, and these are lives that are being lost. Like, this isn't a fucking joke. Like, these are lives. It could be your fucking mother, your sister, your brother, your boyfriend, your cousin, your friend, your neighbor. It could be these people, and it's sick, and it's so heartbreaking. And like, I have such a hard time, like, because I feel stuff. Like, I feel everything. Like, any grief that's felt worldwide, like, I feel it, and I feel it in my fucking heart, in my chest, in the core of my fucking asshole. Like, I feel it, and it's so hard to deal with. And like, I can tell this to someone, they're like, you know, like, it's silly, because it's like, how are you suffering for other people? And that's because I'm not a shitty person. Like, I can put myself in the position that, like, and this is why I would never talk down on anyone, because anybody could be there, you know what I'm saying? I always go back to the quote with that pastor during Nazi Germany, where like, he literally did not give a fuck about any other person that was being killed, because it was not him. And then when it came to fucking kill him, nobody was there to speak up for him, because he didn't speak up for nobody else. He could have, you know, potentially saved somebody else that could have saved him. And that's the thing, bro. People don't speak up until they're at fault, but then it's like, it's not genuine, and it's like, fuck that. Like, this is why. And it's not that I do it because of that, like, hey, because one day I might need people. No, it's because I'm a good person in my heart. Like, I just, like, it's because I care. I really do care. And like, I lose my mind constantly, because it's like, how do you accept this reality? Like, this is so sick. Like, what is going on? And like, this is like why I'm constantly going back to the thought that, like, this fucking life is not for us. Like, this is nothing but an experience. This cannot be like ultimate. And this might sound crazy, but like, for real, I really don't think like we will, like, as much as I want to, you know, like, as much as I believe in the good of humanity, and that we can have a fucking, you know, revolution, utopia, whatever the fuck, like, I feel like in this plane, right, the physical plane, they've allowed emotion and feelings to play a part in this. And I feel like that is the only reason we are experiencing this earth and this body, because I do believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So like, I do think like this is an experience. Like, this is not it. Like, we're not meant to be here, which is why I feel like shit is as shitty as it is, because this is what we're meant to see and experience here, to like, I don't fucking know, evolve into the next thing. And that sounds sick, right? To think like the suffering on earth is real only in this physical plane. This is just a thought that I come to, because I literally, like, how long has it been where like people are oppressed, people suffer, people are dying? Like, how could there ever be peace? Like, for real, like, just the so many ideas that there are in the universe, like, for all of us to just come to terms with one, one idea, and all of us to think that's the right way, quote unquote, like, that's impossible. Like, you know, like, my right is your wrong is my right, you know, like I'm saying, like, it's kind of like, I feel not feasible to fucking think that we can maintain peace on this earth. Like, it's just like, I don't know, like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So like, I literally come to terms, like, there's way too many ideas for us to come to one truth. And I feel like that's just not possible, because it's like, how could there be one truth? There's so many of us. We don't all experience the same things to all think like, this is right, this is wrong, until you experience everything, I feel. And it's like, how could you possibly do that, you know, in one lifetime? To be like, yeah, this is the universal truth, this is the universal lie, this is the universal good, bad. Like, it's just, you know, it doesn't make sense. So I come to the conclusion that, like, this life isn't for us, and this planet is not meant to sustain us. We're meant to, like, literally evolve and never come back to this fucking animalistic realm, like, where this is the reality. Like, if you guys have not read or heard The Egg by Annie Wire, you should check it out. It's obviously a short story. It's kind of cool. It talks about this guy who dies in a car crash, and then he wakes up in this place, and he basically meets like the God, whatever. And he's just asking God, like, where am I? And God is just telling him. And he basically explains to him how life works and why we're really here and this and that. And he's telling him it doesn't matter though, because as soon as he wakes up again, like, it basically says like reincarnation thing is a thing. I'm kind of spoiling this, but it touches to my point, right? So eventually the guy is like, whatever. God tells the guy that, like, everything was for him. This whole universe was created for him. Everyone is a reflection of him. So every time he did someone wrong, he was wronging himself, you know, kind of like a karma thing. It was all projected into him, you know, like, which is why I really do believe, like, what the fuck was the quote? I can't think right now. Let me see. Okay, the quote is, your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. I love this quote. And, like, I've known this quote for such a long time in my life. Like, it's a beautiful quote, because it's, like, it's so true. Like, after you really understand this and, like grasp it, like, in its entirety, you stop, like, reacting to people, right? Like, because you understand, like, you know, you understand why, like, no, the fact that you don't understand, you just stop trying to understand it, because you understand it has nothing to do with you, the way people treat you, you know? And it's like you let go of that idea that, like, people treat you for your value, and you start to realize that people treat you as, like, you know, people treat you the way they treat themselves in all seriousness, you know? Bro, I don't even know how I got up to this conversation. Like, I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. I went so off topic. I don't even remember. Yeah, but fuck it. I'm gonna just cut it off here, because I totally lost what the fuck I was thinking about. I just got to my fucking house anyway. But yeah, like, when I rewatch this, I might add some stuff. Maybe not. Maybe save it for another video. I'm kind of, like, trembling a little, because it's like, this is how these fucking topics move me. And, like, the reality of situations, this shit is not a joke, people. People are fucking dying, and you guys have to, like, just think, bro. Like, again, I'm gonna just end this with saying, just think for yourself. My goal is not to make you believe me. My goal is not to make you believe me. My goal is not to persuade you. That is the last thing I want to do, because then again, you are just following and obeying stuff that do not resonate with your being, and that is 100% what I'm against. Fucking listen, rationalize, see if it fucking resonates with you. If it doesn't, don't hear me. If it does, think a little harder so you can come to your own conclusions, not, you know, what I think. That's what we need to do as people. Stop blindly taking shit in, regardless if it's a fucking, you know, regardless from where you hear it. Just think for yourself, like, literally. And I 100% understand if this information and this talk and of these words do not resonate with your being, because people only understand as, like, what the fuck is a quote? There's another quote. Hold on. The quote is, I stopped explaining myself when I realized people understand from their level of perception. Again, that ties into truths. If someone has not, you know, lived through the experiences that led me to these fucking conclusions, this just sounds like, what the fuck? Like, fucking word, what is that called? Word soup? Gibberish, basically. That's what it sounds like. And that's, like, literally, you have to understand that, because it's so, like, okay, when you first start to wake up, you know, you start to see how people are just, like, blindly living, accepting orders, just consuming, just doing all these things. And it's so easily to get frustrated and be like, oh my god, how are these people so fucking blind? Sheep, oh my god, robots, zombies, blah 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 blah. It is so easy to fall into that, but that's a fucking ego trap, to think you're more than someone else. Like, bruh, everybody starts at some point, and it's fine. Not everyone is going to wake up to the full reality of the universe within this lifetime. And that's not to say that I have. Like, maybe the fuck what I believe is not true, and that's 100% a possibility. Like, who's to say this is true? This is what makes sense to me and my life, and that's fine for me. I share this because it's like, it's a lot for me to hold in, and it might make sense to you and it might not, and this is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's fine. Like, it's 100% fine. Just go at your own pace. It's fine, you know. Take in what you can, research what you can, and, you know, this is like the whole other thing. Like, what you read, like, when I tell people, like, Google it, right? Like, isn't it like everything is, like, limited, you know? Like, why trust Google? Like, isn't that, like, why would they tell you what they don't want you to know? And that's like a whole other thing. But I don't know, man. Go as far as you can and be fine with that. Do what you can, you know what I'm saying? I feel like this had no literal structure, but it's fine. Like, this is how my brain works. It's just like, ooh, 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 ooh. And it's like, oh, but this and this. Like, as I talk, I'm just like, you know, doesn't really make, because I was going to tell you guys, like, hey, Google it, but then it's like, oh, you know, this, like, I pick at my own fucking brain constantly, and I'm okay with it. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to me once again.